Hi beautiful soul, this video is all about manifesting what you want in your relationships. Earlier this year, I was really struggling to communicate with my significant other, with my partner, Paul. We've been together for 8 years, and you know, when you've been with someone that long, you're going to reach these next levels where communication is calling for an expansion. So this video is for you if you feel like you're constantly hitting walls, maybe you're arguing with someone all the time. It doesn't matter if it's your significant other, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, or even a family member or someone that you are working with. Communication is the bridge to peace, and it's what we all want in our life. Communication is the key to getting whatever it is that you want in your life. If you are hitting these walls like I was earlier this year, and this is something I'm constantly working on, if you feel like you have no idea why you keep getting in arguments, or you know why fights go in circles, whether again it's with your significant other or with a family member or with a friend, comment here below. Let me know, what has your experience been like? I know how painful it is, and I want to offer what I've really learned this year. So if this video is helpful for you, if videos like this interest you and you want to know even more about this, make sure to subscribe right now, because I make videos all the time and you don't want to miss them. So nonviolent communication sounds kind of like, what? Wait, this, you know, what does that even mean? That's what I first thought when I heard about this, but it came from a relationship coach that I hired, who's actually my friend. And if you are in need of relationship coaching, I highly recommend him. I will include his information here below. But what he really introduced me and my partner to is nonviolent communication. And this book, as kind of like textual and like elementary as it looks, is the roadmap to happiness for you in your relationships. And I wouldn't be sharing this with you right here if it didn't completely change my life. Since using nonviolent communication, I've been able to diffuse situations that I know could have been catastrophic. But more importantly, I am so happy.
So this is our little casita that we are staying in this week with Let's Fly Retreats.
Even though I had read so many books on it, I've read 5 love languages and a ton of other books on communication, I was still so confused why the words coming out of my mouth and the words coming out of his mouth were constantly driving me crazy. And this book really gives you a literal roadmap for words that you should use or shouldn't use, or I don't like the word should, but suggested words to use and suggested words not to use in order to find peace, because that's really what we're seeking here. We're seeking peace. We're seeking to be heard and to also hear what the person speaking to you is saying. So nonviolent communication is really broken down into 4 steps, and while these steps are really simple, it does take practice, and it's something that I not only work one-on-one with a coach on, but that I practice every day. And what I've really seen in my own self and life since I've started really practicing nonviolent communication is my speech has slowed the F down. At first it was frustrating, and sometimes it still is, but what I realize is that what I'm doing is really unlearning a lot of really destructive habits that I've picked up over the years that haven't really contributed to my success communicating. And so it's absolutely necessary to slow down and to really start thinking and being more mindful of the words that come out of our mouth, not just because it can hurt other people or bring other people up, but because at the end of the day, it comes back to us. The vibrations that we put out through our mouth come back to us. So we want to be more aware of what it is that we're saying to manifest the relationships that we truly want. So the first thing here is really communicating what it is that you're observing versus just throwing out a judgment right off the bat. And this judgment is oftentimes the first thing that ignites this conflict. And it's not that we all have the intentions to judge people all the time. Like even myself, I don't have that intention, but the reality is a lot of times we do. So the way that nonviolent communication suggests being more aware of this is seeing your observations that's when you're speaking to someone and only stating the facts. So a lot of times when someone does something that either disrupts us or maybe it doesn't disrupt us, but we tend to cast judgments right off the bat. Judgments, evaluations, and these are not facts. These are just our own opinion of something. So, for example, maybe your partner or maybe your family member doesn't wash the dishes. Maybe they haven't washed the dishes 4 times in the last 5 days. That is an observation versus saying, yo, you never wash the dishes. A lot of times we use these absolute words like never or always, and we don't realize that the other person takes that as a judgment. And it's because there isn't that specificity. So when we get specific and when we state only the facts, and tone is everything here, then we have a clearer pathway to peace. So that was the first thing I was like, oh my God, mind blown. So I want you to take that and start applying it. The second thing here is expressing your feelings, your honest feelings. And this is something that I was like, I thought I was good at expressing my feelings, but apparently there's a lot more work that I have to do, and we all do. So one of the biggest things that I got from nonviolent communication when it comes to feelings is if you say I feel and then it follows with the word like, it's not a feeling. A lot of times we say I feel like you do this all the time. Anytime you say like after feel, it's actually a thought that you're thinking and not a feeling. So that was a really big, huge, mind blown experience for me because I use the word like, or I used to use the word like all the time afterwards. So instead of saying like, there's actually a list of feelings in here that you can start to express. And it's when we can hear what other people are feeling that we can actually start to be empathetic. So practice saying what your feelings are. The next step, the third step to really manifesting what you want in your relationships is expressing your needs. This is another thing that we have to unlearn as human beings, and as in our culture, we are not taught to express our needs or even feel like we deserve the things that we need. And this is something I'm constantly working on as well. So after saying your evaluation and saying the specifics of it, something like, you know, this last week you have not washed the dishes for 4 days. The next step would be the feeling. So I feel, this is even challenging for me right now. I feel, you can even say sad, that's just the first thing that comes to. I feel angry. And then the next thing would be the need. I need you to help me out and wash the dishes sometimes. So the last thing here is the request, and this is oftentimes the most challenging, and that is to deliver what it is that you desire from a place of love, and the tone really denoting that it is a request and not a demand. The reason why conflict happens is because we're often felt like we are demanded of things from our partners or from our family members. The intention behind the demand that we received was actually a request. So these are all outlined in detail in this book, Nonviolent Communication. So I wanted to share this with you so that you can really start taking it and seeing the value of communicating with passion, compassion, communicating non-violently, and actually knowing that there is a structure to start manifesting what it is that you really want in your relationships through powerful non-violent communication. So let me know here, did this help you? I know that I'm so fired up about this, and I always share it with anyone that I can, especially people who I know who have come to me and asked me, how have you been in a relationship for 8 years and, still survive and thrive? And I'm like, it takes work. It takes the willingness to show up and to discover and learn and know that there are experts out there who are willing to, who have knowledge to share. And that was the biggest thing for me. If you are out there and you are desiring something new in your relationship, or you're desiring an evolution, or you're desiring to be in a relationship, just know that communication is key and that there are so many resources out there. This is just one of them. And I would love to know what your experiences are with your loved ones, with your relationships. What are you struggling with? What is something that you are learning when you're communicating with them? But I'd really like to know here which one of these tips was a really big breakthrough for you that you're going to start implementing this week. Because I could talk all day about this stuff, but I want to know, how are you actually going to use it in your life? I'm so excited because transformation is what I care about, and it's what fuels me. So thank you again so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe here because I am banging out these videos because I want to be connected to you. I want to share all that's up here and in my heart. And if you're watching this and you're like, whoa, I'd really love to create videos like this and build a business, check out my website, Life by Jazz. I am a coach and I love transforming and empowering people to really design the life that they love. So can't wait to connect with you. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me a comment, and so much love. Namaste. Ashe, that means good vibes, good energy, and peace and blessings.